Hi, Sportster Paul here. We're looking at HSMWorks for SolidWorks. It's a CAM program, computer-aided manufacturing, to make G-codes to run a milling machine or wire EDM or whatever you have. My second impression, I'm happy I bought this. The salesman got me with the, hey, it's $200 off if you buy right away, 30-day money back. I can tell you I don't need my money back. I am delighted with the program as far as everything done by the programmers in Denmark, where they invented HSMWorks, and then it got bought by Autodesk in Sausalito. Everything out of Sausalito has been pure misery. As in, first, you buy it, they send you an email. Hey, let's get started. But I was busy reviewing other CAM programs, right? I forget which one. So I waited 10 days. Oh, well, then you go to click on the link they sent in that email. Oh, it's expired. All right, go to support, get help. Oh, all right, and on the phone, and finally get that sent. Okay, click on it. It won't, it installs, but then it won't authorize. It won't activate. And I made a mistake by turning off startup, right? I said, no, I don't want this to run at startup. I just want to enable it, which means all it does when it starts up is it asks for a serial number. And nobody in the entire Autodesk world knows that it asks for a serial number or could tell me what serial number I had. They just say, well, log in when it starts. So I accidentally, this is just hours of wasting time, I got it to at least ask, but then it wouldn't take, it wouldn't accept it. It would say trial version. On chat help, I emailed help. It was like, oh, we've closed the case because you didn't respond to the email asking for screenshots. More email, more chats. Turns out that when I installed it, and I only figured this out because I uninstalled it and reinstalled it 2-3 times. When you install it, it gives you 3 choices. HSMWorks Premium, I think. HSMWorks Ultimate, which is what was pre-checked. And then down under that, Fusion Entitlement. And I'm like, I don't want anything to do with Fusion. I despise Fusion because it's a cloud thing and I don't want my CAD program, my CAD files up in the cloud. Well, it turns out that it's Fusion Entitlement because I am entitled to use HSMWorks. You can tell marketing people are inventing this kind of junk. I'm entitled to use it because I bought Fusion, which is nominally $500 a year. I got the first year for $300. So finally clicked that. I'd gone into my user account because that's the first thing you do with that email, make your user account. And it said, I was an authorized user of HSMWorks. Unauthorized it, reauthorized it. When I realized that entitlement business, now finally it takes. So my second impression is just like the first. No thank you, Sausalito. Love you, Danish programmers. And I'm really excited to show you some of the stuff I figured out in this session. We're going to get most of the part done today. So let's go up to SolidWorks. Okay, a couple little wrinkles. I started with the part that we finished, or not we didn't finish, but the part we started with the pocket and the facing. And here it is, face the top. But you see, no tool paths are showing up. That kind of, I had to edit and redo them. Let's try this. I saw a new button, generate toolpath. Boom. So there they are now. There's a deep pocket. I think that's only because I made it in the demo program. And hopefully when I close this, we'll know next show. When I open it, the toolpaths will be there. I won't have to regenerate. So we got the top of this face down. Oh, let me show you the stock. We created the stock. Here's part 0, a positive X to the right, the way my Avid Benchtop Pro works. Positive Y to the back. So let us put part 0, all clean, like it better than SolidCAM, which is the most capable, but $5,000 and it's not even full 3D. So next thing we want to do, as I promised, we want to do the perimeter. We did that. We faced the top. We did this deep pocket. We did the shallow pocket. Now we want to do the perimeter. So let's see. They don't give you the choice here. I made a mistake in the thing because if you go Tools, CAM, Toolpaths, this is just a simple mistake. Okay, programmers? This shouldn't be called Toolpaths. This should be called the same thing. See, drilling, milling. It should be called the same thing when you go right click here and it says Operations. So that shouldn't say toolpaths, that should say new operations. So when I went back, I couldn't find, I was looking for toolpaths here, and really what you're supposed to look for here is operations. Same thing up here, it's the very first one. But in our setup, and setups where you arrange XYZ and put the stock in. So let's do new operation. I've already lost it. Look at this. Unbelievable. New operation. It's 2D and it's a contour. So one of the things I love, like Visual Mill, it remembers the last tool you used and just defaults to that tool. SolidCAM, you got to click twice to select the tool you just had, which seems silly. For geometry, it always wants to help you. The general assistant manager of default always comes and screws you up. It's probably like MasterCAM, where you pick on the edge you want to machine makes the direction. Yeah, so that's the direction. Let's try it in clear selection. Let's go here. Yeah, so it works like MasterCAM, but they don't tell you. To climb mill, I want to go in the other direction. Now, it's the wrong way, so let's say reverse. Okay, and then once it's got the direction, it maintains that direction on subsequent clicks. At least it seems to. So there we go. So that's all we need. I think it's going to need stock contours. Let's just keep going. Now heights, this is pretty cool. It's smart enough. It always wants to go to stock top here, right? I'm getting to understand, okay, that's the retract. And this is, or no, that's clearance height. This is the retract. The feed height is a little bit below the retract. Stock top is not right. And this is that thing we learned, okay, this is where they're calling the plane. This is the deviation from that plane. So I could enter a deviation, but really what I want to do is from the model top. Because we've already faced this, right? That's where the cut has to be. It's smart enough to know the contour is here. But remember, we want to go a little bit below this edge here so that when we flip it over and deck the bottom, there's not a razor sharp edge where mathematically the tool just might have left a thousandth or two. So here we just go minus 0.02. And I think you couldn't quite see it, but you can see it there. See it? Just that little gap. So now it'll undercut a little bit or overcut, however you want to call it. And we won't have a sharp edge. I'm really beginning to love this interface. Once again, you hover, you can see things, what's going on. Radiuses, this is a tolerance. Smoothing, I think this is climb over here. Yeah, climb milling. Let's see, repeat. It needed roughing pass. See, and then I lose it. I click that, and then I can never find what happened to the word roughing pass. This has been a constant. Okay, there it is. And I don't want to rough that often. I want to rough step over. I don't even know if they call it. Yeah, step over. And I want to do 2 step overs. And this is what accuracy, smoothing. We don't care. We do want to go multiple depths. Instead of 40, assistant manager default values, I want to go 1/8 of an inch down at a time. Finish only final, even step downs. Let's not worry about that. All this is kind of normal stuff for all these programs. I want to go both ways. I want to climb. And then like this linking one, I haven't used it yet, right? So let's see what happens. There they are. And because I asked for 2 passes, it's doing a finish pass, which, I'm sure you can fix that. And if you just want to do 2 without this thinner, narrower finishing pass. And it should be going underneath. Yep, see how it's going a little underneath? Fantastic. And then the simulator, here's the one deficiency, and I consider it pretty major deficiency. If you simulate now, the program is not stock aware. It doesn't realize you've decked it, done that, and it'll just show the stock that was left everywhere. You have to simulate it either up here or select them all 4 and then do a simulation, okay? But we're not going to bother because that's a pretty basic thing. Now what's next? You remind yourself, you go up here, it's like, oh yeah, we got to do this flat. Okay, this program, just like SolidCAM, is able to do this without a sketch. Does it a different way. With SolidCAM, you can select geometry point to point. So I could say from this point here to that point there, it draws a line for me and we'll contour and machine off this flat. This program, let's do a rename. This is perimeter, bang. And then see, it bothers me, you can't select here. Because like if you wanted to do one in between, I'm sure it lets you drag stuff around. You got to go up at least here, find that new operation, and this is a profile, 2D contour. Okay, remember the last tool? You love it? See how much time we're saving? Now this one, I'll do it a little different. At first I selected both and it got real confused. Then I selected this one when I got it to work. This time we'll select this one. It's a little, oh no, I had this stuff turned on. Always trying to help. Ooh, look, it went to did the correct thing. That's the right direction. I want to be on the left, climb milling. So where the arrow is cool. And then there is a place. This is here, you hover, extension. I'm sorry some of it went off the screen because I got a multiple screen monitor, 4 monitors. It says tangential extension distance. This is a way to extend that tool path. So, and you can do both the beginning and the end, which we're going to try to do. Now, I think it doesn't say which is which, does it? End extension. So we hardly want to extend by all. Let's do 0.1, see if it fixes it for us. But beginning extension, let's hover over here and say, come on, hover here. Well, it doesn't say beginning or end, but the beginning we want to do what, 3 inches. Here, it's got it right, although it's once again stock top, it is only model top. Keeps making that mistake. That's a little exasperating. This stuff, it was that roughing passes. See, where does it go? Okay, it goes here. I guess I see this roll around corner and get confused. Same thing, I want to go 125 and I want to do, I think I said 8 passes. 7 or 8. It's kind of silly you have to do it that way. And multiple depths. Oh, look at that. It lets me, the scroll wheel was changing that value. 125. I think that's all we got to worry about, right? Step down, finishing step down, we don't care. Finishing step down, wait a minute, what was that? The size of each step down in the finishing, 8,000. Oh, we'll let it do its thing, right? All of this, I'm sure. Then, let's say generate toolpath, see what happens. There it is. I guessed it right. 3 inches is obviously too far. We can go change that. See, it dismisses the dialog every time. It's a little clumsy, but that's the end of it's not the end of the world, right? So where were we? Geometry. Instead of 3 inches, let's do 2 inches. Did I hit one by mistake? 2 inches. And say yes. That wasn't enough. See, this is where it gets clumsy. You gotta go edit. You can't double click to invoke it. 2.5. But there it is. Right? Fantastic. So rather than what do we got, 13 minutes in, we're going to really rock. Now we're going to do a 3D. We want to do these slopes like we have in all the programs. When MasterCAM does them okay. BobCAD, you got to do 3D extents to kind of fool it. With Visual Mill, there was fooling around with the tool. Watch how this one does it. It's great. Let me see if I can. Oh yeah, you don't do it here. It's a little annoying. Oh, wait a minute. This is flat. Okay. Go here. Operation. 3D milling. And it is a parallel operation. Same tool. That's a genius. This tool was designed by my buddy Dave to trip up CAM programs with automatic this and automatic that. But it's mostly this tool. You don't want to do, you want to select them. Select this patch and this patch. And then I think that's it. I don't think you got to do that. I don't think, see, it doesn't matter. Then here, the heights from stock top it's got. Let's select this one. We only want to go down to this level. So let's put the face there. Here it's done it wrong again from model top down there. Okay, so that's cool. Everything's happy. Parallel. This is all the tolerance business. Step overs. This is where we want a fine step over. And watch how wonderful this is. This is, just hover. Great help. Unlike BobCAD, zero help. This is fantastic, like Visual Mill. Cusp height. The SolidCAM is good help too. Cusp height. So this is telling us, I assume it's smart enough. Of course, see, it's already assuming it's a ball mill, and that's Dave's genius. No, you leave a flat end mill and you come down this ramp. Instead, I was taking a ball mill across at first. Big mistake. But it's smart enough to do math for you. So if we say, no, I want 0.02, it's saying, well, at least if it was a ball mill, that would be the cusp. I don't think we're going to be quite that bad because of the angles and the geometry. We'll see. This is the degrees, whether you're going this way or down. I think I left that there. I want climb milling. I don't see both ways. One way. I guess that's as close to climb milling. And let's say do it. Okay, so like visual mill, it only goes to where the center of the tool touches the thing. Now that's going to be in here. Let's, change the name to slopes. And can't double click. You got to right click edit. Minor annoyance. Where was it? Would it be in passes? Something about the tool. Maybe it's in geometry. Tool orientation. Was that it? No. Oh, tool center on boundary. Here. So tool outside the boundary. Now do it. And see, now it's going, it lets the center of the tool cross that boundary and goes to the edge. And when I was doing visual mill, I think it was same kind of thing. And you're like, oh, it's going to scuff the top here. And because it goes all the way here, it's going to scuff. Watch what the fantastic Danish programmers did for us. And I'm not sure I can find it real easy. Check surfaces. It's in geometry. Check surfaces. So you can say, and I think, well, you remembered that it was doing the top. There were tool paths up here touching the top. Watch this. Check surfaces. This is a check surface, and this is it. And this says don't get any closer than 4/10,000ths. Well, my mill probably isn't that accurate. Let's go 1,000th, which means the tool, when it comes down here, it'll stop 1,000th shy. It won't touch that surface and scuff it, but it'll just have the tiniest little 1,000th inch step in the corner here that will be probably unnoticeable, right? Let's go here. I'm so excited. This is the coolest thing ever. See? Notice how all that tool path up here disappeared. The other thing I love, you're in SolidWorks, so this kind of stuff works, right? So there we go. Now, minor annoyance, like I say, if we simulate now, well, let's show you why this is goofy. You'll understand what I'm talking about. I don't have a machine defined. That'll be another show when I figure that out. For now, it's just stock simulations. This simulate is like what MasterCAM calls, good Lord, playback, or, it just does a toolpath. There's no stock. There's no nothing. So you want, let's do that. Save file. Save. I'm so excited. I finally own this thing. They finally figured out what the hell people couldn't. Stock simulation. Now, if I go, yes, see, it's not stock aware. It doesn't know that, well, no, none of that's supposed to be there. And it shows all this stuff in red and who knows what's going on. So to get the simulation you really want, you could either select, pertinent ones, like I was holding Shift key, hold Control key, you can select certain, but just as equally, you can go up here and click and say, not machine, stock simulation. Stuff still hops around. And then this one you can do here, generate stock until next. There was the top. There's the deep pocket. Let's move it so you can see where once more. There's the shallow pocket. Notice it's not leaving those artifacts, those little stripes this time. It's actually cutting clean, which is kind of cool. Don't know why. My rounding error is different. And then what are we going to do? We're going to do, you can trust me to say, yeah, the perimeter, it's undercut. Now we're going to do the flat. There's the flat. And now we can simulate what we want to see. And unlike the other programs where I had, because of the mathematics and the geometry, it would leave a little stock right here. This one isn't. Right? I think MasterCAM worked like that. There's no excess stock right here, right, on that corner. So let's go back out, flip it around so you can see. Use our favorite thing of all time, compare. And the sub-administrator of default values keeps doing 20 different levels of gray. It doesn't color code. That's the other major deficiency. It's good enough, right, that I'm going to use it. I wish I had the SolidCAM simulator, or Visual Mill works the same way, or even SolidWorks CAM by CAMWorks. Color codes. Why they use 20 shades of gray, and you can set that. I'm going to do, it's hard to see where the gray starts and, the different shades of gray. Let's go up here. I guess you can kind of see them, right? This is the Steve Jobs school of a pixel different, and you're supposed to think it's clean and cool. I add a 0 right here to the, how much per shade. So there's a 0. It's smart enough. It's fantastic that they do it. And now you can see there's 20 shades of gray, just 1/1000th of an inch each. You can also do, I was playing around, 3 shades of gray. Or no, that's 32. Sorry, 3 shades. And it becomes even a little crisper. But that's showing some, not artifacts, but I think that's really saying there's math. Is it rounding error in the math? Why is stuff showing up here? This is probably operator error, but it's still, it doesn't get me as confident as the SolidCAM simulator. Yeah, SolidCAM. Boy, my brain's spinning with all these 10 different CAD packages. But good enough. See, you're not in that. The horrible simulator is MasterCAM and BobCAD. They use a ModuleWorks simulator. So here you are. Fantastic. When you don't have the compare function, it color codes each tool, each operation's a different color. So that's cool. We're done. Let's see. We got 10 minutes left. Okay. So next we want to do what a machinist would call a setup. What everybody I know in history of Earth calls a setup. They've decided it's called a job, which is what the whole part is. But, that might be a Danish English translation problem. Right click here. I think it's look for the new job, new operation, new folder. No, you can't see. You got to go up here. Now, if you have the evil of all evils, the command ribbon, then you can do job up here, right? But then that robs down here, and this is amateur hour. And why are you going up here? Everything you want the mouse to be in this area. That's what's so great about not having these giant dialogs like BobCAD and SolidCAM. You're always concentrated in this one area. And this fallacy of, well, if we spread everything out and put all this space, it'll be simpler. It's not. It's worse. SolidCAM does that, and they don't label any of the icons. And you got to hover. And okay, that's what that is. I got to do that all concentrated here. So enable the command manager. Go back to what we were doing. Sorry for that rant. New operation, no. New job. Here it is. I can't figure out, you would think continued machining from previous job. But it still has stock. And it took a while to figure out, oh no, that's the relative size stock. See, it's here. So you got to do it all over again. This is madness. This is truly a major deficiency. So you just got to do what I already did once, 4.5. At least they do things, once you're used to it, like anything. This is why the programmers or the marketing people don't think it's a problem, because everybody's used it their whole life. So you set the size, and then you don't want to center on Z. What is it? Z plus, I think. And then you can make that number smaller. I think make it 1/10. And that's where it was, right? Next problem is the coordinate system. We're going to flip the part around like that, make work 0. You can't make work 0 the stock now, because thicknesses in stock will change the thickness of the part. You got to refer to the part itself. So this will be a little misery. Does it let me reverse? Maybe it'll let me do this one. Yes. Now, did it move the stock on me? Yes, it did. So now we got to go up, 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 4/10 up. Okay, so now the stock condition's right. And then all of this misery we're used to, right? Down here, post-processing name. Let's call it bottom. They're going to get us set up. Work offset, we were warned about that. It's not, the machine. The recent is the Avid Benchtop Pro, and this is the machine I made. I showed you that in the first impression. And all of this stuff, let's see, what was it? Maybe it'll let me do it. Oh no, but we don't want, it's pointed in the right one, but what we want to say is origin and orientation. So Z is still pointed, up in the way now that we flipped it over. That hasn't changed. This is always a misery. And where is it? Origin. Hopefully, if we go right here and light that point, oh, thank the heavens, it did it. Positive X is there. Okay, so it's sitting in the vise. Fixed jaw back here, movable jaw. We're clamping on the part that we just machined, that perimeter now. And there's, it's not showing us the true stock condition, which is a minor pain in the butt. But we'll give them that. I think we're done, right? We got our part 0, or work 0, some people prefer, depends. We can rename it. If you double click, bottom setup, and then here, new operation, 2D milling face. It seems to be in the right spot. It doesn't remember the tool across jobs. That's a little goofy, but library, here's our tool, right? And here's what that tool's been used for so far. So you just select it. You can't see that, but I hit the select button. My headshot was above it. So it's got the right tool. I think like before, you don't select anything and it's smart enough to know the stock contour, right? Heights. See, I guess they want the heights listed in the physical orientation. This is just a semi-arbitrary thing. Even though you're changing the two bottom ones the most, they're on the bottom because that's how physically they align, okay? Stock top to model top. They got it right, okay? So now we can go. Where was it? We don't want to go both ways. Oops, from other side. Climb. I'm getting excited, you can tell. No stock to leave. I thought there was step over. We want to go 125. Pass extension, that stock offset. Where did we set? Is it here in heights? Is it stock contours? I've already practiced this all day. Multiple depths. And let's go 1/10 of an inch at a shot. And if we say yes, there they are. 4, 5 wax. Huh. Maybe face bottom. Let's edit this. I would think it's geometry. Or no, it's levels, I'm sorry. Instead of from stock top, we want to go, what happens? It'll go above, but it won't. I can't go from stock top minus 0.1. Oh, I think it did it. Let's see. Should give us 4. Yeah, and I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So there's our 4 levels. Now let's do our simulation. Once again, if you simulate just this, it doesn't show you the stock condition carried across. And I certainly hope, let's go check here, in edit condition, under stock, I had continue machining from previous job. I think that has to be done. Let's cancel out of this. So light them both up, but you probably can light this up too and do it this way. No, I guess not. I don't know also why this is in bold and this one isn't, but that's life. Right click, stock simulation. Okay, so it's showing the tool the right way, right? We're looking at it upside down. We're going to make our 30-minute show, folks. So you can do here, it faced it, right? Here, I'll show you just in case you don't believe me. Now it does a deep pocket. Now it did the shallow pocket. Now it's going to do the flats. Or no, it does the perimeter next. Now the flat. Now it's going to do the slopes. And then if you want to see it do this one, I think we're slow enough. We'll go here. And I think we can speed this up 1. Here's this bug. Watch, I'll go up 1 speed and it'll be instantaneous. Oh, that's a minor problem. And then the button of fantastic wonderfulness. The reason I'm never going to ask for my money back. Compare. I probably don't understand the design intent, as engineers call it, of this comparison method. And would it be something if there's a way to set it for colors? We'll add our 0. We'll zoom in. We should be able to see a different color. Why is it thinking so much? It gave up on us. There we go. So let's just do 2. I kind of like that sharper edge. You know, once again, wish it was color coded. Oh, this is interesting down here. Can you see that? The colors here. Is that pertinent? Can I click on them and do something? Let's go back. Oh, is that stock condition? Oh no, I guess it's going up to a point and it stopped. I don't know. I'll figure out what those pretty colors. Every time I use it, I learn something different. So let's come here, give a nice pretty thing. This is volume of material. I'm looking for times too. I'll look that up on the internet. Where does this thing report the time per operation? I haven't found it yet, but I'm sure it's there. And in the compare, you know, it bothers me. This is like visual mill where it's not quite showing perfect accuracy here. Probably user error. We're not going to pass judgment. Let's get out of this. All right, that's HSMWorks. I love it. The more I use it, the more I love it. I didn't have to draw a sketch. Got the easy way to extend stuff. I'm just delighted, right? Just delighted. Everything those Danish folks did. Thank you, Danish programmers. You did a fantastic job. And you got my, well, Autodesk has my money. So we'll see you next time. We'll do the holes, right? So it's going to be 3 episodes. We're going to have the part done instead of 4. So we'll just do the holes, and I'm going to have to practice that because, you know, Bobcat has all the whole, it'll do 4 operations in one whole feature. I'll have to play with that a little bit. But meanwhile, catch you next time. Sportster Paul here. Good luck with your CAM journey. Bye now.